Hey everybody, Mac here, and we are going to work on adding and subtracting radical expressions. We're basically adding and subtracting square roots. This right here is a version B. I had a version A, and so we did that one. And just as a reminder, so you have to look at that one to do this one, okay? So if you don't know where that is, all you have to do is go back to maxtutorials.com, and when you go there, look up radical expressions, and this will be in the section adding and subtracting radical expressions. Okay, all these worksheets go in order, so you have to know how to do A in order to do B. Okay, and the big thing that we talked about is that the radicals have to be the same in order to add. So I look at these, guess what? They're not the same. Okay, but I do notice I can do something with 3. So I'm going to go 3 radical 8 off on the side, and I'm going to break that down to 4 times 2 and 2 times 2, and we've done this before. Now, the way we work radicals, we look for a pair, and when we find a pair, we pull one out. If we pull one out and there's already a number, we keep it with the number. So this is actually going to be 6 root, and what's left over? The 2, plus 2 root 2. Now that I've done the simplifying, look, now the radicals are the same, so now I can add them. Boom. So on all these now, we're going to have to do that first step where we have to simplify the radical, and then we look to see if we can add and subtract. Like right here, I can't do 24 and 6, but 24 will break down. That's 8 and 3. 8, I want you to start to just memorize that that's 2, 2, 2. 8 is 2 cubed, okay? So I'm going to pull a 2 out. And now look, I already have a 9. So now I'm going to pull a 2 out to make that 18. Radical, and this is what's left over, the 3 and the 2. 18 radical 6 plus 3 radical 6. When I add them together, I'll get a 21 radical 6. Okay? Let's keep going. Number 5. Okay, so I'm going to take my 5 radical 12, and I'm going to break that down to 4 times 3, 2 times 2. I can pull a 2 out. So when I do that, I'm going to get 10 radical, what's left over? 3 minus radical 3. Now, what if those were x's? What if it was 10x minus x? What would you do? Okay, so now what some people would do, and this would be wrong, so don't copy this down, you'll just go, oh, 10 radical 3 minus a radical 3. I got rid of the radical 3. I'm left with a 10. No, do not do that. That's like a 1 radical 3. So just like an x, there's a 1 in front of it if there's nothing. So we're going to read this. I have 10 radical 3's. Somebody took away one of my radical 3's. So now I'm left with 9 radical 3. And that's how we solve it. Okay, I'm on number 10. I guess I'm not really going in order, but that's okay. So I'm going to break down my 6 root 28 off on the side. That's going to be 7 times 4, and that's going to be 2 times 2. I have a pair of 2's, so I can pull one out with the 6. And I'm going to be left with 12 root 7 minus 5 root 7. I didn't do a lot of explaining on how I did all that, but it is in that maxtutorials.com where we talk about simplifying a radical, okay? So make sure you do that, and then you guys will be able to do it just as quick as I did. All right? Let's do this one, okay? Now I'm going to break down 27 off on the side. That's 9 times 3. 9 is 3 times 3. I'm going to pull out a 3. So that 3 I'm pulling out is going to go with that 2. So it's going to be 6 radical, here's what's left over, 3, plus 4 radical 3, plus 2 radical 2. These are my like terms. So I'm going to get 10 radical 3 plus 2 radical 2. And I'm done. I'm going to zoom up on this. It helps me to write and keep my space. All right, so 3 I can't break down. I know I can break down 8. Remember we talked about 8. I'm going to keep the 2 here as well, just so we can see this easily. That's 2 times 2 times 2, right? There's a pair of 2's. Let's pull him out, and that's what's left over. So this is going to become a 4 root 2. That is just that. And I know 18, I can do something with that, so I'm going to go over here. 4 root 18 is going to be a 9 times 2, and 9 is a 3 times 3. I'm going to pull out a 3. Oops, wrong way. Boom, and that's going to become 12 root 2. Now, these are like terms, so I'm going to get 8 root 2. He's not a like term, so he's just going to write out like that. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's get over here to number 4. Okay, well, I know I'm going to have to break down that 32. 32 is going to be an 8 times 4, and this is going to be a lot of 2's, guys. Remember I said 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2. So I'm going to boom, boom. I'm going to pull out a 2. Boom, boom. I'm going to pull out another 2, and that 2 has no friends, so he stays. So what is 2 times 2? 4. What is 4 times 7? 28. What am I doing? 28 root 2 minus 3 root 2 will give me a 25 root 2. So, have you guys seen a process yet now that we've done some of these? What you have to do is first simplify the radical. Once you simplify the radical, then everybody's in the simplified form, then you can see if you can add and subtract. I can't subtract this. I can't subtract a root 20 and a 5. But I can take that 20 and go 5 times 4, and that's going to be 2 times 2. And I'm going to realize I can pull out a 2 to go with that 7, and I'm going to get a 14 root, what's left over, 5, plus 3 root 5, and I'm going to get a 17 root 5. Okay, let's keep going. Number 4, I can break down a 50. 50 is just going to be 5 times 10. I can't do 5. 10 is going to be 5 times 2. And again, watch my video on this if I'm going too fast for you. I have a pair of 5s, so I can pull one out. And I'm going to have 20 square root of what's left over, 2, plus 6 root 2, and that'll give me 26 root 2. All right, let's go over here to number 13. All right, I know I can break down that 45 because I know that that's going to be 9 times 5, and that's going to be a 3 times 3. So I can pull out a 3. 3 times 6 is 18. What's left over? A 5. Minus 5 root 5. What's 18 minus 5? 13 root 5. And there's my answer. Again, reduce, and then when you reduce, you're going to be able to solve. 72, I've got to break 72 down. Okay, well, that's just 9 times 8. This is 3 times 3. And this one is 2, 2, 2. So now watch. I have a pair of 3s that can go with that 3. And I've got a pair of 2s that can go with that. And I have a 2 left over. So 2 times 3 is 6. Times another 3 is 18. Root 2 minus, now, 8. We already talked about. That's 2 times 2 times 2. So let's take one pair of 2s to match with that 5. And I've got that 2 left over. So that's going to become 10 root 2. So 3 root 72 minus 5 root 8 is 8 root 2. Okay? Just keep going on with these. They'll start to make sense as we go on. 8. I know I can do 8. I've done that a few times. 2, 2, 2, right? I'm going to pull out one of those 2s to match with the 9, which is going to be 18. And I'm left with the root 2. This is going to be, 2 rad 18. 2 rad 18. Well, that can become a 9 times 2, and that's a 3 times 3. So if I pull out a 3 to go with that 2, I'm left with 6. That's a plus sign, sorry. 6 rad 2 minus rad 7. I can't break down 7. So here are my like terms. Okay, pretend like they're x's. This is going to be a 24 root 2 minus root 7. And that's the answer. So as soon as you find that you don't have radicals that add, you're done. Okay, 98. Whoa, who made up these problems? My goodness. 98. I know that that's going to be 2 times 49. And 49, I love it. 7 times 7. So I can pull out a 7 to go with that 2. So it's going to become 14. What's left over? A 2. Plus 3 rad 2. Like terms, 17 rad 2. Okay, let's go over to number 15 now. 75 is going to be 3 times 25. I just think quarters. Okay, and that's 5 times 5. Now I can pull out 1 5 to go with the 5 that's already there, and that'll give me 25 root. Whoa, what's happening? There we go. What's left over? The 3 minus 4 root 3. And now I have like terms, so I'll get 21 root 3. I hope these are starting to make sense to you now. Okay, so the 45, I'm going to go 9 times 5, like he's prime, and that's 3 times 3. Now I've broken it down. Now I find a pair, and there's a pair. It'll match with that number 5. That's going to become 15 root, what's left over? That 5, minus 2 root 5, plus 3 root 7. Well, that's like 15x minus 2x plus 3y. So we're going to combine the like terms, and I'm going to get 13 root 5 plus 3 root 7. It's really that simple, guys. Okay? Here we go. Let's go to number 16. I'm going to take the 48, and I'm going to make that 12 times 4. You could go 6 times 8. It works either way. This is going to be a 4 times 3. Now look at this. Can I break the 4s down? I can. But once you get a match, you're done. Okay, so you're fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pair of 4s and I'm going to match it with that 8. And I'm going to get 32 root, what's left over? The 3. Plus 2 root 3 plus 5 root 2. That's like 32x plus 2x plus 5y. These are my like terms. I'm going to get a 34 root 3 plus 5. Ooh, what happened? Mac made a mistake. Can you even believe that? There we go. All right, and that's your final answer. And my friends, version A was a lot easier than this, right? Okay, so just know that that's what you have to do. If you'd like some more practice on how to do that, look at all that red. I hope you guys can follow the circles and know where those answers are. Okay, but this is how we do them. This is how we do it. So, anyways, let me circle. Boom, 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 boom. All right, and these are your final answers. If you want more practice, just go to C, and I'll see you there.